Oh, hey. Speak of the devil, we are live.
Cool.
I love how, like, there's such a huge pause between that and you guys saying hi. Like, I'm pausing on purpose to have you guys say hello. It's just silence. Yeah, that's all you get. Yep. Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
Good Saturday morning, everybody.
Yeah. I still need more caffeine. Anyway.
Oh,
welcome.
We're live? Oh, shit.
Yeah. Fuck my throat.
Oh.
Don't actually do that. That would be disgusting. Hello. Welcome to Warhammer 40k Wrath and Glory. My fucking foot pedal is cutting out. Welcome to Warhammer 40k Wrath and Glory, the Blackstone Tales. I am Trisky, who runs the Unlucky Rolls channel that we are on right now. And I play as Gizmek Skrapmangl da Gear-Turnah, who is the orc mech boy, and such as, for those of you watching video form, can see on screen there. But he is a big orc, and he don't give no shits. Joining me are my compatriots. First off, we have the bald one. Marius, that's your cue.
Yep.
Introduce yourself. Introduce yourself.
I
Okay, we're out to get
introductions.
started.
I hate introductions every fucking time. Hello, I am Sator. I am navigator, and I do fucking psychic stuff without being a psyker and bullshit.
Just get it fucking over with.
And also drugs. And I have a left-right arm. And I do chaos shit. And
I wasn't saying to keep going on, but I'll let you. And next would be our humble captain.
Oh, God.
Humble.
Hi, I'm Reaper Joe. I play Holtz. I do everything else on the ship because that's basically my job. I'm also the captain. Also, listen, I can't recreate Marius' introduction no matter how hard I try.
You can't recreate Marius's
It's
spiteful energy.
you cannot replicate perfection. Oh yeah, I forgot to post this.
For once, Holtz has to just like relent perfection to someone else.
Hey, listen, I'm just not in character yet. Give me a minute.
Rook in
Just slap
general.
your cheeks a little bit, you'll be good. Marius over here in our general on this Discord just posting anime pictures that just say you can be easily replaced.
I'm posting it also in fucking Unlucky Rolls.
We have a group Discord. If you haven't joined that yet, I would recommend it. But last but not least in this train wreck of an introduction would be our humble GM.
Hi, I'm Six. I'm loving the energy today. You know, I got my coffee. And we have one more introduction, which is our lovely Grom.
Hey, I thought I did that first.
He's playing Gizmek Skrapmangl. An
Scrap-
orc warboss / mech.
Goddamn.
It's a good time.
Yeah,
Alright,
I
so
am
last
the guy who
time-
does tech and stuff. Yes.
Yeah, so to do like a quick recap, last time the crew of Captain Holtz was riding high on a big score. They were traveling to drop off these smuggled weapons when they were suddenly set upon by a galaxy-wide rift in the warp, the Cicatrix Maledictum, followed by a World Eater's, I guess,
Raider fleet.
what would that be? Like a flotilla, I guess? Like a flotilla?
Yeah.
They were immediately attacked, open fired upon. Most of their ships blew up in the opening scene. There were boarders aboard the their main ship, and Captain Holtz was able to hold off Gizmek was able to hold off the boarders as they took off into the warp, leaving all of their friends behind to be killed by world eaters. While in the warp, they were traveling through the cicatrix. They couldn't really see where they were going. They were like looking like 5 inches in front of their face. And then yeah, they hit something in space, and they ended up at this crazy solar system. They didn't really know where they are. It doesn't match any known star charts. And encircling the star was no planets, but a planet-sized space station, which they have gone aboard. There was all sorts of crazy what's the word I'm looking for? It's too early in the morning.
It was basically a video game randomizer as far as where the rooms were going. So the rooms.
Yeah, there was some crazy illusionary stuff, weird warp stuff, weird technology stuff happening. And then Gizmek decides to stop one of the doors from closing, and in doing so, break something inside the wall, and suddenly they're surrounded by pink crystal, and the illusion has been dispelled.
We weren't eating food, we were just eating pink crystals.
Still tastes good. Were you gonna say something? Holtz?
Holtz is just like, yep. How
So
many
I'm
of you?
Sorry. I'm going to describe what you guys are seeing real quick, because I just sort of did a pan out shot before. But in a similar size to the mess hall that you guys were in, you guys are in a room seemingly carved out of this this crystal. It does not like flat against the wall. It's like kind of jagged and random as it's like you're inside of a crystal cave, right? There's like an opening where the door was, and you can see that there's a big break in the crystal. Or in a room.
Gotcha. Okay, so like this room that we're in, is it covered like it's like an actual room? It's like there's a ceiling and everything.
Yeah, there's like holes in the walls, and you can see through them, and they sort of like go way out into space. It looks like the room that you're in is like floating inside of the space station somewhere.
Okay.
In the distance, you can see like a catwalk made out of this crystal, and you can see like the scout team that you sent earlier, and they're like maybe a mile or two off in the distance, so you can barely see them. They're like little tiny figures.
I mean, we have our Voxcaster with us, and they took a Voxcaster with them too, right? So.
Yeah, but the Vox is not working.
Okay, it's still not working.
Right.
Okay. Gizmek, can you shout real loud for just a second?
Oh yeah, I'm real good at that. Oi!
So like the sound like echoes around the room, but like it doesn't seem to go through the like portholes in the walls.
Interesting.
Like the scout team doesn't seem to recognize your presence in any way. While you're up at the porthole shouting out into the void, Gizmek, can you give me an awareness roll?
I can do that, yeah. Let me pull this up real quick. We got an awareness of that and roll.
All right, 2 successes should be fine. So yeah, as you're like screaming out into the void, you like almost stick your head out the window, but you're not, quite willing to do so. And you see in the distance like this very large. It's probably like the core of this this space station. It's like a big crystal structure. It's like 2 funnels sort of merging together, in the center, and there's this extremely bright pink crystal in the center of it. And out of that crystal, there's like it's like shooting lasers in every direction, and one of them is being shot in your guys' direction, and one is being shot over in the direction of the scout party.
Oi, they got some disco shit going on over there.
Disco shit.
And if you look at the wall, where the laser is sort of hitting the platform that you're sitting in, it's sort of like refracting around, and then it gets to that like broken chunk in the wall and just stops.
Big old thing over there. It's one of them shiny crystals like all this, except it's brighter. It's shooting out lasers everywhere. Like some of your Yumi lasgun shite.
Can I take a look?
Yeah,
Sure. Be my guest. Gizmek just steps aside.
Yeah, I stick my head in, out.
Yeah, it's as I described, with the two funnel shapes like merging in the center. It's not like flat, right? It's still like chunky, like a crystal would be.
So we like chunky salsa here.
Yeah.
And it's a massive structure in the distance, basically.
There's two lights specifically aiming at our party and also like the scout party.
Yeah, give me another awareness check.
Pull up my awareness. Also 2 successes.
Yeah, that's all you see.
Okay. Well, I think I see what's causing this illusion. If those lights are aiming directly at these rooms, then they're probably what's powering this this space station. And Holtz specifically uses scare quotes when he says space station. If we break that, we might be able to get back in contact with the Blackstone.
I mean, I got a bolt there.
Can you shoot it from here?
I could try.
It's pretty far away. I think it's like outside of the range of almost all your guns.
Okay.
Yeah, this is literally just Gizmek saying I could try, but I don't make no promises because his ballistic skill is considerably shite.
My ballistic skill is also only 1.
Maybe we should just make our way to the crystal itself. It doesn't look like it's going anywhere.
Alright.
And I gather the rest of the crew and including Bitbug.
Yeah, so there's a ceiling over your head, and then there's that there's like a catwalk outside of the big door that you've broken. It's also like a big crystal catwalk, and then there's currently like nothing above the room that you're in. It's just sort of floating, and nothing below either.
Yeah, I mean, I figured we'd just like take the catwalk if we can get it to like go towards the crystal, unless it's like at an angle or something. Like, if we know where they're going.
So you head out. You head out of the room and you start moving down the catwalk. And as you walk across this crystal catwalk, the space station begins to reappear around you.
What is this nonsense?
It looks like when you damaged the door, Gizmek, you broke the system enough that the illusion started to fade away.
Oh, I wasn't trying to break nothing. I was just trying to be kind and considerate like you Yumis.
Well, apparently the space station doesn't understand kindness and consideration, Gizmek. Maybe you should show it some proper manners.
Yes, proper orking manners. Can I break this? Gizmek starts whirring up his power claw.
Yeah.
Just don't let me stop you.
Just gonna swing real hard.
Into what?
Just like basically any of the crystal nearby. He's just bored.
Well, it's space station right now, so.
Yeah, it's space station right now.
Mm. Sorry, I was like phasing out a little bit. The caffeine hasn't kicked in yet. Gizmek is in this state of stupor after all of this. I'll just explain it away that way. That works. He's looking around at the space station as it is right now. Is there anything notably different from when we were last in this quote unquote section of the space station?
No, I mean everything seems like pretty samey. Like it's a pattern repeating, right?
Alright. Ah, joy.
It's like if the space station auto-generated itself. Which it is.
Yeah.
Gee, some people do procedural generation of their video games wrong.
So what do you do with your power claw?
Cancel that whole entire thing. I was a little bit misunderstanding of where we were.
Okay.
I mean, there's a wall that you can just like slap into, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair. Gizmek will do that.
Okay. Yeah, give me a weapon skill test. Difficulty number 3.
All right.
Okay. So you sweep at the wall with your power claw, and you're expecting the claw to like hit the wall, but it doesn't. It just goes like straight through it, and you lose your footing, and you slip, and you like fall through the wall. You manage to put your other hand up, and you grab onto the crystal catwalk that you were on. But everyone just sort of sees Gizmek go straight through the wall.
Literally no clipping.
Gizmek, do you see any yellow carpet? Or
He's
yellow?
currently hanging from with one hand, his like power claw like sort of malfunctioning below him as he's hanging off the side of this platform. But none of you can see that. All you can see is like the tips of his green fingers through the wall as they're like gripping onto the floor.
Sator will very carefully attempt to look through the wall.
Yeah, so you put your face through the wall and you can see through it, and you can see back into the station. The room that you guys were in is like following you down the catwalk, and so it's like sitting at the next like big door on the side of the catwalk, basically.
The room that we already broke.
Yeah, you can see like the big broken piece of crystal on the side of the door.
Okay.
And you can see the big like laser structure in the distance, and it's got like a beam coming in your guys' sort of direction, and then it sort of diffuses out when it hits something nearby, and it seems to be like driving the illusion.
How far? So I'm like hanging right now. How far is the floor below me?
You look down and you can't see anything.
Well,
it's just blackness.
That's comforting.
I get the rest of the crew to team up and help the probably 2-ton orc back on.
Yeah. You probably want either Sator or Tech Priest to be the one to.
They're both
to
going
pick him
to.
up.
You both are going to help. What do you what do you mean?
I mean directly in front.
Yeah, we're gonna have Gizmek make an athletics check to pull himself up with some help. So I'm gonna give him 2 extra dice, but it's gonna be a harder difficulty number because he's pulling himself up with basically one hand, right? Because he's not really able to use his power claw.
How's that?
Oh my god!
You said +2, so I had to do the modifier, and I have 6 strength. So
And you also
Yeah, he
got
literally just like flexes his bicep and just like anime launches himself up over the edge of the platform and ends up back into the hallway. Sweat beating off his forehead.
Wait, don't I get glory out of that?
We do get a glory because of the 6 for sure.
Hell yeah.
only 1 or 2, depends on how hard you want this to be.
Well, you got the 6 on the wrath die, and then you can shift one of those 6s for glory too, so you can actually get 2 glory.
All right.
Yep.
I am gloriously capable of jumping up.
That'll do, Gizmek. That'll do.
I ain't no pig.
Oh, you've seen that movie.
I've heard the quote. I've seen that pick case. You hear me's call.
Anyways, it seems that the platform we were just on follows us through the rooms we go through. So yes, this place is only an illusion.
Which is why we're heading to the source. Well, trying to at any rate.
I hate illusions. You can't shoot illusions.
No, but it makes it all the more satisfying when you break the source.
Fair.
Now then, enough dilly-dallying. Let's see if we can keep going. And I have one of the other crew like occasionally like stick their head out to check our progress towards the crystal.
Yeah, so it's much easier to navigate when you can just see where you're going in a 3D space like that. So you're traveling down these walkways, and there's like T intersections here and there, and the road curves now and then. Do one of you do the navigating, or do you like let one of your like NPCs do the navigating?
You probably want the navigator to do the navigating.
I mean, if Sator is volunteering, by all means.
Yeah, so Sator is like constantly popping his head out. Can you give me an awareness check, Sator?
Yep.
Cool.
That's 4.
Okay. So, as you're like wandering around the space station, you're seeing, a bunch of these like walkways around, like are like different levels, and you're seeing like the different like rooms that are like scaling around the different walkways and stuff. And one of these sort of catches your eye because it's not empty. There's something in there. You can't really tell what it is. There's like a dark mass inside of one of these like crystal rooms, and it's like coming up on you guys.
It's coming towards us.
The crystal room is like one of the ones on the way to this central structure that you're looking for.
Oh, we're coming up on it rather than.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Well, it's also moving around, so it's also like coming up on you. It's you're sort of meeting in the middle.
It seems like one of the rooms we are about to go in has something inside, but I'm not sure what.
Something I can crump.
Well, it just looks as a big black blob, if you will, so potentially.
It's boring.
Or it could just be more warp obstruction from null technology.
You don't have any reading from it, from like psychically? It's not warp shit?
Would there be anything directly warping from it, or no?
You open your third eye.
Luckily, you're outside of this wall, so none of us can see you.
Do you?
Yep.
Okay. So you open up your third eye, and when you do so, outside of the wall, you are immediately blinded by the sheer vibrancy in the whole space station. So you actually like stagger backwards as there's more light beyond this wall on your third eye than you've ever seen, and your third eye is like temporarily blinded, like it's like fuzzy. It's like someone turned on their their high lamps on their car, like in your face.
They turned on the light while wearing night vision goggles.
Yeah, exactly.
It's basically that there's so much probably warp stuff they just blinded Sator temporarily.
Yeah. The light seems to be coming from that structure in the center, but it was so bright that you couldn't handle it.
The structure which is with the black thing inside, or the thing which seems to make the projections?
The projection.
Well, something seems to be coming from the projection thing you mentioned.
So I'm also going to give you a shock as well for doing that.
Yeah.
Let's take a shock damage.
Shocking.
Where was I meant? Okay, there. 1.
Holtz is just like, huh. So it was being psychic.
And you can feel your like third eye like tearing up. It's in.
It's just pain.
Yeah.
Sator will use his emergency navigator eye drops, which are completely real.
Totally not calling bullshit.
But yeah, if like anybody were to like look at the eye right now, it'd be like kind of cloudy and like bloodshot.
Yeah. Unfortunately, we no longer have our longer have Joseph with us.
Yeah, no one's brave enough to actually look in the eye to see what's wrong.
Yeah.
Or dumb enough.
We just sort of see it as the audience, you know.
I mean, Gizmek might.
Dumb enough, me.
Yeah.
It's fair.
But
he doesn't care enough right now. Anyway.
Oh, that's just all the more reason to break this place. And or use it for our own ends, if we can.
Okay, so as you guys like come up to another like intersection of corridors, the direction you need to go, one of the doors in the hallway is open.
I mean,
You can't really see what's in it from this angle, right? You just see that it's open, and there's no lights inside.
Sator, you said that's where the blob thing is. The black.
That's where the blob thing is supposed to be, right?
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Gentlemen, weapons out. Be ready for anything.
Gizmek just pulls out his bolter, holding it one-handed in his offhand.
And it's forward march, yo.
Oh my god, front.
Yeah. So do you guys try to like approach this door like secretly, or are you just gonna like walk up to it?
It's Gizmek. He just stomps towards it.
Okay, so you're just like stomping towards it.
Yeah, I don't think I could get Gizmek to sneak.
Yeah.
I may have like myself and like a few of my people like sneaking behind him since he's making a distraction. But
You use me as a shield, which is
Pretty
fine,
much.
because that's my job.
So Gizmek, you like come around the corner, and I need you to make me a resolve test, difficulty number 2.
Alrighty.
Okay, so you're able to keep your stomach as you come around the corner. There appears to be some sort of like alien creature in the center of the room, dead, long dead, covered in what looks like maybe a fine layer of like film, like mushroom filament. The creature is like half biological, half mechanical. So the mechanical side has like stayed behind, but the biological side has like decayed down to the bone, and like the flesh has like seeped onto the ground, and like this like carpet of like biological material.
By the way, that was a target of 2, so isn't Aren't we supposed to get a glory
For what?
for shifting a 6? Because
I don't know if you can do that in resolve tests, but
yeah,
I don't think you
that's
can.
fine.
I think on defense tests you can't shift like that.
All right.
Um,
That's fine.
yeah, it's only checks that you can shift, I believe. Anyway,
Yeah.
so
in response to this, Gizmek just turns and looks over his shoulder and says, "Oi, it's this some weird alien shit, you bloody xenophile."
I mean, I wait a little bit to see if Gizmek is attacked, and then, assuming nothing else happens, I'll have like the group like move forward,
Pretty gnarly there, brace yourself.
secure the area.
yeah, so like given Gizmek's warning, you don't have to make a resolve test because you know that something pretty nasty around the corner. Yeah, so you see this like dead alien creature in the center of an imperial storage bay because the illusion is still maintained. It has this carpet of biological material around it on the ground, and it's got this like mechanical component to it. It has like one arm that's like it's got like a buzzer blade on the end of it. It's got like a normal biological arm, which looks like a really nasty claw, and it's just the skeleton of it. This is an alien creature you've never seen before.
Bitbug, any chance we can extract this for study?
The tech priest looks positively horrified.
Bitbug, I like snap my fingers in front of his like his eyes, or his like.
Sire. Yes. I will attempt to. Yeah. Like he's grossed out, which is really funny because like he's like looks exactly like this creature does, but in human form, right? So
What's got you all giddy, Mr. Toaster Man?
he like scampers forward, and he doesn't want to touch it, right? Like it looks like he's like he's barely looking at it.
Hey, stop pussyfooting around. At this point, Gizmek would get sick of him just like tiptoeing around the issue, walk up and start picking up parts of it himself.
Yeah, so you like walk up to this creature and you walk onto this like carpet of skin, and it like begins to undulate under your feet.
Yeah, that's weird. Yeah, let me take care of that. Pulls out his bolt gun and shoots the ground.
Yeah, so you start like blasting into the ground, like, bah, 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 and the skin starts to like fall apart, and like bleed onto the ground, and then the like creature in the center begins to like rumble a bit.
Oh shit, this thing's alive, isn't it? I turned the bolt gun towards the creature and just watched for a moment.
And then it like stops rumbling. But give me an awareness check.
Let's see. Should I use any of our glory on this?
I mean, it's on you, Doug.
Yeah, it's a shared glory pool, so I want to make sure you guys are alright with it.
use like one.
Yeah, I'll just use one. So using one glory on this, I'm going to roll awareness.
3?
I don't even think that took into account the modifier, actually.
Yeah, 3 is good. So you like hear like a very low, like chitinous, like chittering sound coming from the body.
This kid's got some bug in him or something.
And as he says that, the body of the creature like erupts.
Hold it!
And out of the corpse come these tiny little like scarab-like creatures that are like half metal, half living.
Are
and they just start like covering the floor, and they start like running towards you.
Are these Necron-like ones? Because we have actually encountered Necron scarabs before.
No, they are like half living, half machine.
Alright, so they're different than the Necron ones we found in the Space Hulk. That's an important note.
Yeah. I mean, they look kind of similar.
I mean, they're both scarab-like, but it's not the same thing.
Right, but like what I'm saying is like the mechanical parts sort of like if you were to take one and take a Necron scarab, like they look very similar on the mechanical parts.
Alright.
But the like living part definitely doesn't. So they're like crawling out of this creature in the millions, right? They're like tiny little ones. They're not like big ones. And they're like clamoring towards you. What do you do? You're currently the one closest. Bitbug jumped back the moment the thing started to vibrate.
Yeah, Gizmek is going to jump back, and I don't have anything fire-based.
Yeah. I think Bitbug and the like crew that you're with begin to like scream and run down the corridor like away from the door.
Oi, any of you gets got any of them flamers? Burn this shite!
Is narrative declaration a thing that we can do?
Yes.
I don't.
Yeah, sure.
I'd like to spend a narrative declaration to say we did bring a flamer.
Okay. So we'll drop one of your wrath points.
Yeah.
But you have to like command this guy. Because he's currently afraid.
Holtz literally just like reaches out his hand and like grabs the sergeant and just like looks him in the eyes like, "What do you think you're doing, soldier?" And
give me a command test.
I think that's leadership.
Yeah, difficulty 2.
Leadership, 5 fellowship, so this should be fine.
Yeah.
3.
Yeah. Okay. So the guy turns around and realizes what he has, and he starts to unleash this flamer into the crawling insects. They begin to vaporize and melt and slag to the floor as their metal components melt into the I guess the crystal, I guess. And the threat's no more.
Oh, that's taken care of. Let's go check the thing out again.
I think maybe we should just...
the corpse.
The corpse has like fallen over, and if you like look, it's like hollow inside, like everything's been eaten out of it.
Leave it, Gizmek. All of the interesting bits have been compromised.
Biscuit's met a terrible fate, hasn't he?
Yes. I was almost you, Gizmek.
Yeah, screw it. Gizmek is going to, like, you said there were still some technological components that were on this guy earlier?
But, like, if you try to, like, grab any of them, you realize that, like, all of the interesting bits in the center have all been eaten away by these scarab creatures. Like, it's a hollow husk. Like, he had, like, he had a buzzsaw on one hand, but, like, the motor's missing, right? The saw blade is only like half exists. You know what I mean? Like the inside part of the saw blade's all eaten.
His arm's basically an empty Coke can.
Yeah.
God damn it! Gizmek, in frustration, shoots what remains of the tech components with his bolt gun real quick before.
Yeah, you like punch holes in it, and you can actually see how hollow it is. So, yeah.
Yes, but he's following Rule 2 well enough. Double tap.
Yeah, he just unloads some bolt gun rounds and then reloads his gun, calls it a day.
Yeah.
Yeah, so then you guys could continue on. And as you're traveling, you have like the distinct feeling that you're like approaching like the bowels of a ship, right? So like instead of nice corridors that would be in like the crew area, the like officer areas, you're now down in like the belly of a ship, right? So it's like catwalks into like large areas with like the furnaces. It's like you're in the bowels of a spaceship.
Oh, we're in the reclamation facility. Gotcha.
Yeah, and so you figured out the trick that you can just like look through the wall and see where you're going. So you're able to manage to navigate through this very confusing system of corridors, and eventually you make it to this like large open area, which would be like, it looks like the core of a spaceship, and there's like a in the place where the warp engine would be is this like large crystal structure with this like big fat purple crystal in the middle, and you can see it like shooting lasers out in every direction, and maintaining this illusion.
All right. Is so like looking at this crystal? Does it look like it? How big is it? Can it be moved?
Yeah, you could probably carry it with like 2 people.
Okay, so we could either move the crystal, break the crystal, or do nothing. Obviously, we can't do nothing. Part of me wants to take the crystal with us because what else is there here in this station?
That will likely cause something bad to happen, but that's always fun.
I mean, it's either that or break the crystal, which will also definitely cause something bad to happen. Really, it's just which sort of bad thing do we want to happen first?
Touch the crystal.
Go right ahead.
Touch the shelf.
Punch a bear. There was something like that, which I don't remember right now fully.
Hank the
So is somebody gonna, like-
I see you right now.
Alright.
Is someone gonna like climb up to this thing and try to grab it?
Gizmek.
You see, I'm being volunteered. All right.
Okay, so you like start to clamber up the side of this this funnel. It's not smooth, so it's not like impossible to climb. It is difficult, so you have to use your power claw to like Wolverine your way up there, basically.
Oh yeah, he's not being subtle about like making dents in it to climb.
And as you get like a closer look at this thing, give me a tech test.
All right.
Difficulty 3. Yeah, you totally got it.
Whoa.
Okay.
Tech,
Get another
tech is
glory
my
as well.
best thing.
Do you still have additional dice by accident or something? That's a lot of dice.
Well,
No. Oh wait, hold up. Oh right, I was applying the double for Orky stuff. Do you want me to re-roll that?
Nah, you don't have to. You're rolling plenty of dice. I'm just gonna take one of your glory.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
Because I wouldn't have gotten the 2 6s.
Yeah. Okay, so that makes total sense. So yeah, so you're looking at this thing, and your mind races back to your guys' ship, and remember you were trying to like figure out what was going on with the warp drive, like why it wasn't working.
yeah.
Well, there was like a component in the middle of the warp drive, and it's like the darnest thing. That component looks exactly the same as this. Like the crystal fits the exact specifications of this component. It's just like a different material and color and stuff. Like the component within like the warp drive for a human ship is probably like some sort of like black box of warp shenanigans. But that black box is like the same shape and size as this like crystal in this holder.
So
Looks
instead of the
like
black
a
box, the pink
crystal.
box.
Looks like a crystal version of one of your Yumiko fast drives.
You think it could service as a warp drive, Gizmek?
Oh yeah, that's what you call it. Yeah, it looks like one of them.
I kind of like look at Bitbug for just a second. It's like our warp drive is totaled at the moment, isn't it? Bitbug?
He looks kind of sheepish, and he says, "The inner workings of the warp drive are a secret even to those of my rank. I did perform the proper, undoances and rituals, but the device refused to function."
So what you're saying is it's fucked.
Gizmek, how about we
In
just take
in
it
so many words, yes.
Oh, Gizmek. We're taking that thing with us. If it breaks, it's on your ass.
Alright. Gizmek's gotta reach out with his non-power claw hand to try and grab it.
Yeah, it's like wedged in between the two like funnel-shaped devices holding it up, right? But it's not like glued in or attached, so it begins to slide.
Oi,
and-
before I do this, knowing what happens when you remove big-ass power sources, you may want to duck.
He does make a good point. Gentlemen, brace yourselves.
Yeah, so you pull the stone out of its cradle, and immediately all of the crystal in the whole cavern. First off, the illusion is immediately erased. Like you're standing on a platform of crystal, surrounded by nothing. The crystal all changes to like a dark green color. There's like a sound, like an alarm that's going off. It's like loud and it's piercing and it's like everywhere.
I think that's a cue to get the bloody hell out.
Holtz tries to like both contact the ship and the other scout team with the Voxcaster, if that's possible now.
I think the other team like comes in super crackly, like, "Sir, oh, thank the Emperor."
Get back. We're heading back to the. We're heading back to the skimmer. The skimmer.
Where the hell are we? We were at a space station 1 second, and now we're just like in the middle of nowhere.
Get yourself together, soldier. Get back to the skimmer. You should be able to navigate quite easily now. Contact the Blackstone if you can.
We've been traveling through these corridors for hours. You could like and maybe you could see like little dots of them in like the far distance. And they're like looking around like all panicked, like they don't know which way to go.
I try and get one. I'm also trying to like contact the Blackstone to see if they can like navigate us back to the skipper or the skimmer. And two, if I can, I will like direct them to like contact the Blackstone as well to get guidance.
Let's see if that would work. I don't think you can get contact with the Black Star.
Stone, but yeah.
Blackstone, yeah.
Okay, in that case, if I can see them, I'll have one of our guys if it like that has like the flamer. Just like shoot flame into the air to see if they can like get like contact or like see our location.
Yeah. So you start shoot flame into the air, and the crystal around you like turns like a bright red color.
Oh, fun.
And then one of these like floating rooms on the other side of the station, you see it like making a beeline in your guys' direction.
I mean, I have the crew just start moving, but like
So you guys start to like run down this corridor, and everywhere you go, like the green crystal changes to a red color, and you can see this like room of crystal like flying in your direction.
Leg it, Giz!
I mean, yeah, we're huffing it.
Yeah,
I'm
so I want the
trying to,
three of you to make athletics checks.
Yeah. The whole time, I'm also trying to like get the other crew to like scout crew to like
Great
see
athletics.
us.
My greatest skill.
Same.
Oh,
I have 2 to this.
It's off strength.
Yep.
The
Same.
Gizmek gets a complication.
If it was off agility, it would have been the same. From
The 1 success on Holtz.
I could use a glory, but fuck that. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, so like as you guys are like running, Gizmek, you trip on because like the floor isn't flat anymore. It's like all bumpy. So you trip on like a big piece of crystal that's like juts out of the ground. You slam into the ground and your like claw hits the walkway and the crystal begins to like crack. And the like cracking, shattering crystal like starts to break away. And you and Sator are like on one side of this like chasm, and the rest of the crew are on the other side of this chasm, and they're still running towards the skimmer.
Can I add that Sator also trips on Gizmek?
Well, that's what the one is for. Is like you're on that side with Gizmek.
Yeah.
Like there's this huge rift between you and the rest of the crew, and you see this like big room flying towards you.
Well, we better find a new way out. Gizmek.
Yeah. Alright. My God, just like, try and get the fuck up real quick and just keep moving.
Sator is trying to also help him really quickly because
Yeah, there's like maybe a 20-foot like chasm between you and the rest of the crew on this walk.
That's basically kind of like an impossible jump, right? Like 20 feet.
Gizmek might be able to make that jump if he gets a really good running start, but there's no way that Sator's making it.
Yeah.
I would tell them at that point to get to like the surface of the station and make it very obvious where you are, and I'll see if I can pick them up in the skimmer once we get out.
Alright, I'll make it obvious. Gizmek starts looking for some way to move like vertically upwards.
Yeah, so there's like spires of the crystal like all over the station. You've probably used one already. It's got like a floating platform that like you just sort of like think a direction and it sort of like goes up or down, right? And so it's like an elevator. But
Yeah.
the illusion is ruined now. So like there's just all these elevators all over the place that are just sort of these crystal shafts.
Yeah, I'm running.
But this room that's flying towards you is getting very, very close, and it sort of like lands, quote unquote, on near you on the platform, and these like crystal constructs come walking like out of the room, start like walking towards the two of you.
Whoa, there's a threat. Gizmek starts just shooting wildly at them as he runs towards an elevator.
Yeah, so give me a ballistic skill test against defense 1.
Damn,
Nice.
I
Okay.
actually rolled a 6. Okay.
Yeah, so roll me a damage.
Let's see.
Wow.
Oh wait, was that the power claw? Shit, it's a bolt gun.
Yeah. Okay, so it only does 11 damage. So the bolt shell, slams into one of these creatures and doesn't do anything. The creature like continues to move towards you. They've sort of like blocked off the way the other direction from the rift and are like moving on the two of you. And so Sator can do something while they like move in your direction. They're pretty slow, but they're like
how far away are they?
obviously they're heavy. Let's say they're like 20 feet from you now. So we have like this shot, like from the top down with like the two of you, Gizmek like shooting wildly into them, and they're like coming from one side of the bridge, and then there's like the chasm on the other side.
I'll just also try to shoot them. And I somehow have a worse ballistic skill than Gizmek.
Well, it's only difficulty 1.
Yeah.
Nice.
All right.
So what kind of gun do you have?
Archaeotech last pistol.
Yeah, so like you try to fire the las pistol, and
Sator forgot to charge it.
no, like if anything, you fire it and it like it hits the crystalline creatures, but it like bounces between them all, and they all become like energized by it, and they start to move faster.
Great.
So now they're like all up on you, and they're trying to like claw at you with these like jagged hands. And so they're gonna roll an attack at you. So we're gonna start with the roll on Giz. So that's 2. So you have a defense of 2, right?
Defense 1.
Defense 1. Okay, so they hit. So these are gonna do. Okay, so these are gonna do 14 damage AP2 to the Gizmek.
16 damage basically if you have more than.
Yeah.
If you have at least 2 armor.
I have 4 armor, and total soak is 8.
Yeah, so you'll take 2 damage.
Alright, where's my... There's wounds. Damn. Alright. Ah!
Oh no, sorry, you'll take 4 damage.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. And then that's a hit on Sator.
Yep.
These aren't brutal weapons, thankfully. So you're going to take 14 AP2 as well.
14 AP2. I need to. My resilience is 6. My armor value is 3, so I reduce 7 of that. 7 damage.
So some of the crew on the other side of the chasm see you guys getting like mauled, and so they like turn and they start to like shoot at them as well. So like maybe 1 or 2 of them like crack some of the crystal monsters, and they fall off the side of the platform.
I mean, if I'm in range, I would probably take a shot with my plasma pistol.
That's what I was going to ask if Holtz wanted to make a shot as well.
I'll take a shot. Ballistics.
Just don't get the one on your die.
Yeah, it would be really funny. I think I hit.
Oh yeah.
It's 1 extra die, so
the crit, so you get the critical effect as well.
Okay.
So you get an extra ED as well on top of that. So roll your ED with 1 extra die, and then I'll look up the critical effect.
So it's 15 plus 1 ED normally, so 2 extra die, I guess. And it's AP minus 3.
Yeah, that's important because they've got a really high armor. Yeah, so just let me know, like roll your ED die, and then on 4 pluses, that's the damage. So that's 2 more damage.
So it's 17 damage minus 3.
Yeah, so was the plasma pistol plus 1 ED or plus 2 ED?
Plasma pistol was plus 1 ED.
So you could shift one of your 6s to extra damage, so you get an extra ED as well.
Okay, so 1 more ED?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, cool. And then we're going to roll a critical effect. So go ahead and roll like the tens digit and then the ones digit on D66. So just roll a dice and then roll another.
Roll a d66 from the
Or you can
corner.
roll 2d6 and we'll just take the actual numbers or whatever. So 2, and then what's the second?
2.
2. Okay. Yeah, so the target's going to suffer an additional D3 wounds and be hindered. And then you can spend glory to give yourself extra wounds for each glory that you spend. But I think that's good enough to just kill a creature. So the plasma, the ball of plasma flies across the ravine, strikes one of these creatures square in the body. It sizzles and melts and stops moving, and then like tumbles over the side of the into the abyss and like falls forever into the void.
Great.
So that's the end of the turn order. So we'll go back to you guys. Who wants to go?
I mean, my melee is a lot better, and they're up close, so...
Yeah, makes sense. There's like 5 of them left, I'd say.
Alright. Would that be, I could just click to roll Power Claw, right? Or is that damage at that point?
Well, no, roll to attack, and then the number of successes will determine how many of them you hit, right? Because it's like a horde of them. So yes, so you hit so basically you do a big sweep. Go ahead and roll the damage, and if you roll high enough, you can sweep them all. I don't know what that 4 is for, but
That's what it does when I click the damage roll. Weird.
oh, well, it should be. You need to roll 7 ED. So
Alright.
So I roll 6 more ED, I guess?
You already
Yeah.
rolled 7 ED by clicking that, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, yeah, so that does the damage roll.
You need to actually do your weapon skill roll too.
Yeah, that's why I actually needed to do. Alright, so the first roll would have been the damage if this hits.
oh, I
Which
see.
it
So
does.
you only hit so you get 4 successes. So you hit 3 of them. You hit half of the remaining, and then that would be the damage. So that would be, and it's not brutal. So it's going to be what? Just 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17.
It is
Okay, so that should be enough to crush them.
The Power Claw is
Sorry?
brutal.
Oh, it's brutal. Okay, so it's 18, 19, 20. Yeah, 20 damage. So you do a big sweep and you throw 3 of them off the cliff. There's still 2 left, and each of them is gonna claw the 2 of you one more time.
I mean, we could seize the initiative.
Yeah, if you want to try to seize the initiative and have
Might be a good idea. I'm down to 2 wounds.
Yeah. Same.
okay, so we'll drop a glow,
Yep.
and then one of you guys can go.
I'm gonna use my...
Yeah, I'll take another shot. Why not?
by the way, my weapon skill is also 6, so I could go too.
Yeah, here's the
you-
question. Do we want the plasma shot or do we want your
Yeah,
ionized
I think the
rifle, right?
plasma pistol might do more. So I'll take the ballistic skill test.
Sure.
Yeah. So 2 successes.
Yeah, that means you hit 1.
Okay. In that case, yeah. And then 15. Do I get the ED or not?
Actually, because they're only defense 1, you hit both of them. So you don't get any extra ED. You just get the 2 ED.
Okay. So
And I think you need both.
well, it's only +1 ED, but so I got.
Oh, it's only +1. Okay.
Yeah.
So
it's 16 +
16. Oh, because it's AP3. Yeah, sure. Okay. So yeah, you fire your plasma pistol twice, and they melt and they land on the catwalk.
Nice shave,
Or
mates.
on the slab, I guess.
I didn't take any damage, so I can't use gallows humor. But yeah, no, I just get to the surface. We'll come pick you up.
Aye on that.
And yeah, we I guess we have to split here.
Yep.
Yeah, so you guys run off in your direction, and Gizmek and Sator have to go their separate way through the maze of catwalks and elevators and so forth to try and find another way around. So, thankfully, Sator is an expert navigator, so we're gonna make him make a roll.
Yep. I assume awareness with just normal awareness because yeah.
Yeah, I think awareness is the way to go with that. So we'll make you make an awareness test. It'll be tough though, because you know
by the
the space is very confusing, and
because I'm under 50% health, aren't I meant to have like either
and the difficulty number is an extra 1 because of that.
Yeah.
So we'll make it difficulty like 4, because it would be like 3 because it's tough, and then 1 more.
Yep. I'm gonna use
You have
one
4.
of my red dice.
You got 4.
That's 4.
Oh yeah, it
4
is 4.
successes.
Yeah.
It's confusing
So
sometimes.
you managed to like mentally like map out a way to go, and then how do you like ask like how do you have like a little conversation with Gizmek to go the right way?
Do not die. Go left. Do not die. Climb the spire.
Is that how Sator talks? Like, to not die, do this. To not die, do that.
Feel like you're looking down on me a little bit there, son. Gizmek complies.
What
Okay.
else is there to do in these times? Anyway.
So you'll actually manage to make it to the skimmer bay about the same time that that Holtz does, because their group is a little more like chaotic. But we're gonna have another encounter at the skimmer bay. So yeah. So you guys are running. The station is going crazy. There's like sounds. One other thing that you have to deal with is these like crystal rooms have started to become like suicidal. I guess where's the stone, by the way? Like, who's carrying it?
Gizmek.
Gizmek.
Would be.
So he's got it like in his offhand or something, like in like
Oh yeah.
he's just
I
like
have it in
palming
my
the whole
bad
thing.
Power claw hand.
Or maybe he's got like under his arm or something, right?
Yeah.
Like he's like carrying it like a gorilla.
Carrying it like a football hooligan he is.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. So let's see, what could you guys come across in the skimmer bay? Yeah, so you take multiple different directions. The scout party is already there waiting for Holtz, and you can see in the distance Gizmek and Sator like almost making it to the bay. When you hear like this large crashing sound, and the whole station like vibrates, makes like this like gong sound, like bong. And you look up, and one of these like large crystal rooms has slammed into the roof of the skimmer bay room, and like there's like a piercing light that has like that is starting to chew its way through the floor, and then you can see it like started to draw like a circle in the ceiling.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to avoid the circle.
Okay.
Yeah, hop skip around that, yeah?
So it's not above the two of you. It's sort of above Holtz and his crew, and it's in the skimmer bay. I'd say that like Gizmek and Sator are like one round away while running, but yeah.
I mean, we're like at this point we're trying to like get the skimmer to like get ready to take off. Like it's that scene where like the skimmer's like hovering halfway, but like the loading ramp's like open and like still.
Yeah, like the loading ramp's open. People are jumping up onto it, right?
Yeah.
And then you
I'm
guys
trying to get people like inside the skimmer.
and you can see like in the distance, like the two of them like running. So you don't want to like abandon them in the station.
Well, I
But
can't
then-
abandon it. They have the power source.
Oh, that too as well. And then so there's this circle being drawn in the ceiling. It finishes, and then the whole ceiling like drops down, and in front of you is this large crystal creature. It kind of looks like a carnifex, kind of. It's probably the size of like a small 1-bedroom house. It's got like large claws made out of this same crystal material. It's and it like is like angrily like about to charge one of these skimmers.
I mean, one of them's probably. Let's see. How do I want to handle this? I have about 5 seconds.
You're on like one of the skimmer loading ramps. A bunch of the men are starting to like scream like, "What the hell is that?"
So if one of them is ready to charge, if one of them ready to go, I would have one of the skimmers like charge the carnifex before it's able to like try and knock it off.
Okay, yeah, give me a command check, and we'll have them like try to like maybe one of the skimmers will try to ram the carnifex or something.
All right.
It'll be hard though. It'll be a command test of like 4.
I'm gonna spend a glory. If I spend a glory, that gives me
go ahead.
what?
1 extra die.
Okay, yeah. So I have 7 die, and this will make it 8. And I think I might spend a wrath point to re-roll that, anyways. But
Well, you get 1 more die as well.
You got 4 ones.
oh, okay. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah. So you yell into your vox at the pilot to the skimmer that's closest to this creature, and he quickly yanks on the yoke and crashes into it. They both go like spiraling. The creature like reaches back with one of its claws and just like digs it into the cockpit of this skimmer, and the skimmer starts to like flame and starts to come apart, and it like detonates inside of this creature's like mouth, and the creature like blows into like a million pieces and scatters all over the docking bay. But you've lost your like scout part.
Oh, I mean, it was either that. At this point, they were probably going to be lost either way. So
when that happens, Sator and Gizmek manage to make it to the docking bay. They get onto your guys' skimmer, and you guys fly off. The door is open.
I want to say if there was only going to be one skimmer and there wasn't enough space, we're probably going to throw out the scout party anyway.
ouch.
I mean, we is brutal like that.
Listen, I'm all sacrifices if I don't have to.
That is fully true, by the way.
But yeah, no. If we manage to make it out with the power source, Holtz can.
Hey, give me a resolve check, difficulty 3, to see if you can just shake off like sacrificing your men like that.
Let's see. I only have 2 dice for this. 2 successes.
Okay, so we'll give you like 1 difficulty number to test for a little while, because you're like preoccupied thinking about what you just did.
So like just to be clear, it's more like, damn, I don't have enough people to pilot this to crew the ship. I can't afford to make sacrifices. It's not a actual like attack.
Well, it's like, did I make the right decision?
Yeah.
Right. Like there was other ways to deal with this problem, but I just sort of
I make the
threw
most
these
efficient?
not so expendable men, away.
Yeah. Did I make Did I use my assets the right way there?
Yeah.
Is what
Yeah.
Holtz thinking. Anyway.
So you guys fly back to the Blackstone.
And as soon as we get back, I have a bunch of tech engines here specifically. I'll work with Gizmek on the power core to see if it will work as a warp drive crystal thingy.
Yeah, let me grab a drink real quick, and then we'll do that.
Yeah. Actually, I'll go grab a drink too, since Gizmek is AFK.
Yeah, unfortunately, we cannot place anything on the stream that we are AFK.
Yeah.
Which is unfortunate.
Mary, just do like a song and dance to entertain them while we're gone.
Oh boy. Right, is anyone still alive in chat? Yes, no, possibly. Is anyone going to watch this in the future? Potentially, who knows?
I'm back.
Great.
So how's your week been?
It's alright, you.
Good. Been playing a lot of Elden Ring, you know.
Same.
Yeah, what build are you going for?
Fucking basically faith strength, sort of, but mostly faith.
Oh yeah, Faith Strength, that's a good build.
Yeah. You?
I'm doing like an Arcane Bleed Faith Dragon hybrid build.
Yeah. We're talking about Elden Ring now.
Nice.
On what
my
platform?
computer's too shit to play Elden Ring.
I play Elden Ring on the PS4 because, yeah. Even
I
though
heard it's pretty good on the PS4, surprisingly.
Yeah. The only bad thing about this is my fucking PS4 being like old and having a bunch of graphical glitches, but I just ignore them.
Gotcha.
I had like the same problems with Red Dead 2, but it was so small that I forgot.
No, I got kind of lucky. I built my gaming PC like right before everyone was fucking going crazy about Bitcoin.
Nice.
So I managed to get parts at like actual normal prices.
Instead of the fucking insane lunacy which it is right now.
The scalper problem, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, the people who make fancy computers just to mine Bitcoin.
Yeah. Also, I'm gonna go quickly BRB2 because, yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, there's a bunch of games I want to play, but like my computer is a piece of junk and it's old, and I can't afford like anything like nice with like an actual graphics card.
Yeah, and then also anything nice with an actual graphic card is like way overpriced as well and difficult to find.
And I don't exactly have the time to build my own PC because like college and shit.
I mean, building your own PC takes like an hour. Like, it doesn't take very long.
Oh, wow.
You literally just like plug in the ports into the holes that fit, and then you're done.
Then maybe I do have time to build a PC. The other part is like, you know, finding parts.
Yeah, that's the hard part. The hard part is finding the parts right now. For like normal prices.
Besides, it's not like I have a whole lot of time to do things anyways, because like this is my like last semester of college before I graduate, so like I figure I might as well finish it. Or finish that before I do anything like fancy.
No, you could use your first job money to get yourself a sweet gaming PC. You know?
Yeah.
No, I did the same thing when I graduated from college. That was like my graduation gift to myself, was to build myself a PC.
Yeah.
And that was like right before Bitcoin miners went nuts. So it was like the perfect time.
Yeah, I don't. Unfortunately, like I'm an arts major, so I don't know how much I'll be able to afford. But
I mean, yeah, I guess it depends on what job you get, but like there's arts jobs that pay pretty well.
yeah, I mean, like I'm probably gonna end up working for the government, so.
Oh. Yeah, my parents both did graphic design for like companies for like websites and for like annual reports and stuff.
Yeah.
Maybe we're making pretty good money.
I'm a liberal arts major. I should probably clarify on that one.
Oh, gotcha. You're not an arts major. You're a liberal arts major.
Yeah.
So you're even less impressive than an arts major.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's rough.
Welcome back. We're waiting on Mary Marius.
Mary man.
The Marius. Oh, hey, he's back. All right.
I've been summoned. For I work like a demon.
You just have to say his name 3 times in the mirror.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So you make it back to the Blackstone, and you got this chunk of crystal. And yeah, like you tell the tech priests to try to install it, and I don't know. Is Bitbug like really into Mechanicus stuff, or is he sort of like a rebel? You know.
So I'm gonna leave that up to you because we didn't really like interact with him a whole lot.
Yeah.
Again, Bitbug was original. Bitbug's art was originally for Dark
character
Hairs.
in another campaign, but
Yeah, in Dark Crusade.
in this
Black
circumstance,
Crusade.
it's up to your interpretation.
For some
So
reason,
it might be more like a challenge and more fun if he's like super like I've played him thus far as like the typical tech priest, right?
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So like by the book. Yeah.
Right. So he's gonna be like not about it.
Okay. It's
So
fine.
maybe we'll have like a scene. It's like down near the warp core. It's like Holtz and Gizmek and Sator and Bitbug is like standing in front of the warp core, but basically with like his hands spread, like, don't you dare put that into my warp core.
Gizmek is holding it, and he looks at Bitbug, and he's... Gizmek, had a habit on the space station where he used to live before Holtz came along, or before he came along to Holtz, more realistically, where, he would make fun of the, toaster boys on the ship all the time. So, he sort of finds this really amusing in a Yumi kind of way, and,
He's like, sir, I must protest. I know you are my lord, but this is heresy to the greatest degree you could possibly imagine.
Yeah. Gizmek isn't even gonna bother listening as he walks up and shoves it in.
So it's not as easy as just like walking up and shoving it in. The warp
That's what I'm
core.
gonna start with because orc.
Right.
So like the warp core sits in like a part of this of the ship that's like this big open space, and the warp core itself is like a building, right? It's like a 3-story building. It's got like cables coming out of it in every possible direction in horrible cable management in typical like 40K style.
Oh, yeah.
It's like covered in oil. It's got like a big like spinny disc at the top. That's like like lightning arcing to it from like another like a bunch of like Tesla coils on the side of this like large open space. Like it's a big it's a big set piece. This warp core.
Holtz, while Gizmek is just kind of like climbing into the warp core, it's just like, Bitbug, engage your logic processors. Can we enter the warp right now? And will it be possible to enter the warp without a replacement warp drive?
Sir, I'm sure that we could figure out a way
protocols
that would not anger the Omnisire.
All right, then let's.
What if we activate this device and we just disappear? Who knows what it could do?
So what? You want to wait for the World Eaters to come back?
Tech priest, by all circumstances, we should be dead. It's a blessing that we are still alive right now. How
Yeah,
do
your
you
bloody
not know-
Omnisire has willed us to be over here and find this thing as a replacement after them gits did all that shit. Now shut up and let me do my job.
Yeah, he's like wringing his like multiple hands together. He looks like extremely worried. He says, "You would not let that brute just destroy us all. Like he could punch a wire and the whole ship could explode."
Gizmek could have killed all of us a long time ago.
Yeah, if I can too.
Sator doesn't actually believe that at all, but he's just saying it.
Sire, please listen to reason.
Bitbug, engage your logic protocol. The longer we stay here, the more likely the more likely that the world eaters will show up again, and we'll be, ripped to shreds by Chaos Space Marines.
At least allow me to test the new device to make sure its inputs and outputs are of the proper caliber.
You want to actually test it? That's fine by me.
Oh, you calling off me just shoving this in and seeing what happens?
Oh, you get to do that after he tests Gizmek.
Yeah.
Yeah, does Gizmek just shove it in anyway? Is that who he is?
Nah, at this point he's just like, fucking Hume protocol bullshit. He just like begrudgingly steps back down and walks up to Bitbug and says, "Hold out your hand."
Yeah, he like pushes forward his like mechanical like servo arms, I guess.
Gizmek shoves it into whatever receptacle as hard as possible and turns and walks away.
Yeah, Bitbug like bows respectfully and says, "Oh, thank you, Lord. Couldn't imagine what would happen. The inner workings of the warp driver.
Just get to testing it, you git!"
And like Bitbug looks at you like angrily, like his eyes like flash red in your direction, Gizmek. And he says, "That brute could have killed us all." And like he starts to like walk away with the crystal to analyze.
Holtz just kind of like slowly turns to like one of the sections like nearby the warp core that was repaired by Gizmek that just says that has like some duct tape on it that says works.
Yeah, and that's literally what it is.
And he's like, if it weren't for Gizmek, we might already be dead. But I don't say that to Bitbug. I just kind of like slowly turn and just like let him be mad.
Yeah, he just like looks at that on the wall and just sighs, right? Like it's such tech heresy, but he's like, whatever.
Gizmek believes in enough bullshit to make his tech work without the greater Warfield.
By the way, when Bitbug said heresy, fucking Sator basically chuckled in his head.
Yeah, you fucking dark god fucking motherfucker.
Listen, Holtz has a don't ask, don't tell policy at this point.
Yeah, you've sort of had to build that policy over the course of our bullshit.
What? Heresy? I hardly knew her.
I've never heard of it. Anyway, ignore that our navigator gave a specific order to not clean out the fucking Psyker Spire after they all have been murdered.
Oh, yeah, the Astropath Spire is like just covered in blood.
Yeah, ignore that it hasn't been cleaned and that additional bodies are arriving in there for some reason.
Listen, there's nothing going on. You don't need to don't worry about it. It's not your job.
By the way, Sator would actually like try to keep it that way just in case he ever does some fucking ritual for corn demons or something.
Goddamn.
He just needs all the blood, you know?
Well, yeah, exactly.
I mean, no one else is using the Psychic Spire right now, so...
Sator doesn't know it yet, but with the fucking demons coming out of wherever the fuck they want, he actually needs rituals to summon them, probably.
So it's gonna take Bitbug quite a long time to verify the device, in that he's gonna have to do like every ritual that he possibly understands, and like in the long form, to make sure that this is the proper device to go into the warp core.
What from Gizmek's interruptions?
What are you guys gonna do while he's doing that?
Holtz, for the most part, is probably a little bit happy for like the reprieve. He's probably just going to oversee like what repairs are possible on the ship, and maybe just like get like a status update on the crew manifest from Wanderer. See if he can like reorganize the ship so it runs at least as best as it can with what skeleton crew is remaining.
Yeah, go ahead and give me another leadership check, and we'll see how that goes. Yeah, you got the ship running pretty well. There's not as much death as you originally thought. A lot of people were able to like hide during the assault, and then also like the World Eater assault on the storage bay did not go very well.
In the warp, demons were also there because of Ira, so there wasn't that many. So there weren't that many bloodletters, thankfully.
Yeah, they were mostly. It was mostly like in the bridge and like the psychic heavy areas of the ship. Like it didn't really hit everybody. So your ship is actually like running better than you thought it would be.
Neat.
Yeah.
So while you're going over these manifests, you're like sitting on the bridge with your assistant, like looking at all over the reports. You're like looking out at the view screen, and you're looking at this like this space station, and like it occurs to you the space station is like a little further away than it was like yesterday from your ship. Like it's like maybe 10% smaller, so it's like a little further away.
Is it further away or is it shrinking?
You like do an instrument report, and it has definitely like changed orbit to be further away from your ship.
I mean, I don't think we have any plans to go back to it. I'm assuming it's like all crystal now, right? Like all like dark green crystal.
The outside has not changed.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, like, I don't think we have any reason to like go back there. So, like, if it wants to like slowly fall into the sun without its power source, like, it doesn't really bother Holtz that much. I don't think.
Holtz doesn't really care if anyone else comes by and also goes inside. If anything, if the world eaters follow us and go inside of that thing, it's a good thing.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, so then over the course of like the next several days, you see the station get further and further away from your ship, until eventually it like starts to like have a decaying orbit into the sun or the star, right?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Bitbug is still sending status reports like tried this ritual, success, tried this ritual, success. He's done like 10 in a row of the same exact ritual, success. It's like he refuses to believe that this device would actually work.
After a certain point of like seeing like repeated rituals, you be like, I send like a sternly worded message like, finish it up. If it's safe, it's safe. No amount of testing is going to reveal a flaw if there isn't one.
So like maybe he invites everybody down for like the installation ritual into the warp core, right?
By the way, before this, Gizmek, did you have anything you want to do in the meanwhile of all of these rituals happening?
Oh yeah. You two also have days of stuff to do.
Yeah. The first thing would probably be, getting patched up because we are both at 2 wounds.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you guys can fill up. That's not a problem.
Sator's focus would be to main focus is to. Alright, for short. Gizmek, do you have anything that you're busy with?
So one of the things that's on Gizmek's mind is that since his ship blew the fuck up, he lost all of his progress on his regicide board dioramas. Now he needs to start from scratch again. So, the crew of the Blackstone, having been free of his, perusing for a while, now once again find themselves, being antagonized by a giant orc walking around asking for their chessboards and all of their chess sets. He's just taking chess sets from the crew so he can start making these, like, dioramas again in his downtime.
Yeah, give me a leadership check.
With intimidate.
Yeah, leadership for me is strength, so
Yeah,
that should go well.
or intimidate. Either work.
Yeah, I'm pretty
okay,
sure
great.
that goes well.
Yeah, so you like manage to scare enough of the crew members to hand over their regicide boards. There's like a little bit of like antagonism there, where like people are like, "Here comes Gizmek, take my regicide board again."
And whoever does that winds up with a broken arm.
Yeah, and everybody else is like, "Yeah, we'll hand it over." So now you have like, I don't know, 10 to 20 boards or something.
Hell yeah! I start up my dioramas again. Gizmek goes to what was previously his main like workshop in the main storage hold, and begins to get like buckets of paint and adhesive and whatnot, and is starting like basically he takes these. He's basically like making and painting Warhammer 40k dioramas, except instead of actual like proper figures, he has chess pieces.
Yeah.
How does using a power claw help with this process?
Gizmek's power claw is not attached permanently, actually.
Oh, okay, you can take it off.
Unlike, unlike the average orc, he can remove it, so he does, and he is actually surprisingly dexterous when it comes to this task in particular.
Yeah, give me a let's see.
I'd argue a tech check because that seems like the closest thing.
No, because I'm talking about like a manual dexterity thing, so it'd be like
Agility?
probably weapon skill,
Alright.
honestly. 1 success. Okay, so like the dioramas are okay, but like as someone that does Warhammer painting himself, like the person who's the biggest critic is yourself. So like every time you look at the dioramas that you make, like you see like paint jobs that could be cleaner. You see all the mistakes that you made while painting miniatures when everyone else doesn't, right? So like, it's a passable job for like a normal person. Everyone would be like, "Oh yeah, that looks cool." But then it inside Gizmek like knows that there's more that could be done.
The crew finds Gizmek to be notably more irritable than usual, which is saying something for an orc.
Yep.
And what is Sator doing?
Well, first he's going to make sure that Ira isn't slowly killing herself.
Yeah, she's having a little trouble.
Yeah.
She was she's like addicted to stuff, right?
Probably because she was, only about to be
by binging on drugs, as I recall.
Yeah, and the drugs are running out. So she's having to like budget them. And so it's making her like extra on edge and irritable.
Yeah. Unfortunately, Sator is not a good psychiatrist.
Yeah, so maybe like the way that Sator like realizes that something's up is like one of his assistants goes missing, and like in searching for them, you find them like tortured in a closet somewhere.
Yeah, which would be really odd for Ira because she never likes torturing people. But with being almost sent into Slanesh directly by Demoness would be pretty.
Yeah, she was pretty shaken by that whole experience as well. So are you going to like punish her for doing that, or are you just gonna let her just start like killing people in the crew?
Sator is just going to start his Burshot before Sator just took people out of the prison and gave them to Ira to torture because they were already criminals. So he's just going to redo that system, but with more people being dead.
Yeah, so like when Ira first came aboard, like the whole torture thing was like kind of unavoidable because like Drukari. So like Holtz just kind of used her as like to get information from like Brig people to like further crack down on like sedition and heresy and shit.
Yeah.
So
she's become.
So maybe Holtz starts getting like more and more requisition requests from Sator for prisoners again, and it hasn't been for a while.
I mean, the fact that like Holtz found like that we have like the people to spare at the moment, he's willing to like let it happen for now. Well, if it gets to a point where it's too much, then he'll put a stop to it.
Yeah.
Or like get to the bottom of it.
Thankfully, currently Sator isn't trying to also do chaos rituals to summon demons, so so that our manpower doesn't go below the minimum requirements to run the ship and such.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that like allowing Ira to do her thing is going to give your ship like a trait where it's going to make like all command checks like one extra difficulty number because they're like lowly staffed.
Yeah, that's fine.
But maybe, as you said, like it'll help you root out like sedition and stuff. So it'll remove that like random event, basically.
There will be less heresy and less. There will actually be less prisoners overall because like Curse. When there is a murder Batman going around, you don't really want to commit a crime.
Yeah, but then she's gonna run out of prisoners, right? So
yeah.
Well, sometimes you just send somebody you don't like.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean,
so like crew members are slowly disappearing off the ship.
I mean, additionally, Sator does have his own list of like who should get tortured by Ira, and on top of that list is people who call him inbred.
So in other news, now that Ira's begun doing that again,
back to Bitbug and
she's got like color in her skin, like she looks like a full energy all the time. Like she's at the practice the practice hall more often. She's powering up off the backs of these dead crew members.
Yeah. By the way, apologies if I interrupt too much.
No, that's fine.
All right.
We're on Zoom. I'm not Zoom. We're on Discord, so it's hard to not talk over people.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. All right. So we're at the big day with the installation.
Yeah. There was other stuff that Sator wants to do, but he probably doesn't have the time within a week to start dissecting dead Chaos Space Marines. So yeah.
Yeah. I'm trying to think about that. So there were some dead world eaters, but like the main guy had been like spirited away.
Yeah. He just seemed to like he wasn't there. Sator asked around for 5 minutes and then just whatever, because dead space marines, he needed to preserve them. That's more important than one space marine.
Yeah, so like we can go over that as well while you're doing that. Do you want to give me like a Medicaid test?
Sator would ask Would go over to Gizmek at one time, probably when he's painting his dioramas, I will assume.
Okay.
Hey Gizmek,
Yeah.
I need your medical skills for experiment of mine, if you will.
Alright.
So you are aware of how Space Marines are the way they are, right?
I never ripped one apart before, but I would be down to.
Well, I want to attempt to extract that part, and I believe that you could do a better job at that than I would.
Yeah, I know I could.
So
Alright.
yeah, Sator is just bringing Gizmek over to like a dissection table with a dead Space Marine, Chaos Space Marine. on it.
Yeah. So we've got a dead World Eater. He's muscular, hulked out to the max. Maybe like a part of his torso's been ripped off. That's how he died. He's like missing an arm, and no one knows where the arm went. So he's got one arm. I assume you took the armor off of him.
Yeah.
So he's got like a surgical cape over their body, so we don't have to see
Also
it.
for Sator's armor, he's basically just for anything chaos loot that came from this, even like random pipe wrenches, he just has them in a pile hidden as of now. Hidden from most people because you don't want to be like, yeah, we're keeping gear from the heretics. No, you don't want to. You are not allowed to know why.
Yeah, his skin is like super pale, but he's like roided out, like gladiator style. He's got he's completely bald and clean shaven, and he's got like the corn symbol like carved into his skin over one of his eyes. And he's just like laying on the slab dead.
Yeah, we're gonna get rid of that symbol really quickly.
So you just like cut it off of him.
Yep, and then burn it.
Okay. So, you take like your scalpel or whatever, and you like carve that piece of skin off of the corpse, and you've got like a little flame nearby, and you light it up.
Yep.
Meanwhile, we got like Gizmek in like a surgical gown and like a little surgical mask. Standing over the body.
Scalpel.
Sator gives Gizmek the scalpel.
And the scalpel is like the size of like half of one of Gizmek's fingers, right? Because his fingers are
Yeah,
huge.
this is too small. Gizmek literally like takes the scalpel and throws it across the room, probably hitting some guy in the arm, and then pulls out his Medicaid mechadendrite anyway.
Yeah, there's like a Wilhelm scream from off camera.
Yeah.
Suck it up,
you like take, and so you take like a power sword or something and start like carving into this.
I have a Medicaid mechadendrite.
Oh right,
I
yeah.
have,
So the
I have actually
like,
some proper equipment for this, so.
right.
Yeah.
So you just like the mechadendrite starts doing stuff. Go ahead and give me a Medicaid test difficulty 4.
Doesn't Mechadendrite also give you a bonus or something?
Ooh, there's
Nice.
a complication. 3 successes, 1 complication.
Yeah. So you start to like carve into this guy, and it's like the weirdest thing. So like normally when you carve into a Space Marine, like they have all those like extra organs that make them be a Space Marine, right?
Yeah.
The organs that have been implanted into this feller are definitely like not up to the same standard as the normal like Space Marine ones, because they're starting to like turn into like a slurry. Like they're starting to like
It's like a combination
disintegrate, basically.
of decay and mutation, probably.
They definitely are not like his gene seed is like almost completely decayed. all of the special organs are like half functional or falling apart. His body is like melting from the inside.
Well, I was hoping for better results, but he still has some of his gene seed remaining, it seems.
No, the gene seed is like almost fully disintegrated.
Yeah, but it's like almost fully. There's still
right, but like you need like the
something.
whole organ in order for it to function.
Yeah.
It's not like DNA that you need or whatever. It's like
you need the
like the whole
entire
organ is
organ.
necessary.
Yeah, I know that the gene seed is also grown in Space Marines, and then isn't it extracted when they die, or can it be extracted if
there's a
after it goes
box
for a while?
that the gene seed goes into.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, it gets extracted when they die, and then it gets implanted into a new generation or whatever.
The medical Space Marines are required for that too.
Yeah, the apothecaries do that.
We have the Chaos guys doing the demon thing that we aren't going to talk about at all.
Yeah.
But you've heard rumor that like there's no way that these Chaos Space Marine legions could be like refilling their losses or whatever through the proper methods, because their numbers are so high and the losses they take is so great. They must be like cutting corners somewhere.
Yeah.
This looks like some shoddy work, even for them fancy chaos humans.
It sure does. Extract what you can, and we'll burn the body, I suppose.
Gizmek pulls out whatever the hell he can, and then he looks back at the body and he's just like, "Alright." He grabs out like some chunk of flesh and just eats it.
It is gross. It's like necrosis flesh.
Yeah! Hey, humans don't even have good meat! He just chucks it at some other guy, another Wilhelm scream.
He has been decaying for a few days, Gizmek.
Yeah, but you think the big sacks would be better at not dying that fast?
Well,
Yeah, even though he died a couple of days ago or whatever, like it shouldn't be necrosing this fast.
This is some weird shit.
This body is like a month decayed, even though it's only died a couple of days ago.
It's probably something that Korn has to do with it.
Well, I don't know the specifics of what you humans do to even make these things in the first place, so I wouldn't know what they do either.
Anyways.
But this ain't good meat, so hey, bring the flame over here! You may want to clear out.
I assume that there's like a morgue with like, proper like
A reclamation
incinerators and stuff.
facility.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
you probably are just incinerating it in the incinerators. It's just
We don't place him in the morgue.
Gizmek's idea of like burning the corpse is just bring over a flamer, and what actually happens is some dude comes over bringing a cart, and like 4 dudes have to work and strain to lift this decayed Space Marine corpse onto the cart to bring out.
Yeah,
And
and then they
Oh,
slide
it's
him over to
boring.
an incinerator.
Yeah,
And
and
then
then
like push him in.
Yeah.
Gizmek's just like
burns
expecting him
away.
to come up with a flamer and roast him right in front of him for a little bit of a show, and they just bring him away. He's just, oh, that's boring. But yeah, that's about it.
And so you guys work on not just that body, but there's a bunch of bodies, right?
Sator, apparently Sator has the same Medicaid as Gizmek because of high imp. Should I also do my own roll for that, or
Sorry, what?
should I do another Medicaid skill myself to see if
Yeah,
Sator
you
finds
should.
any better bodies?
Because
Alright.
there's some extra information to find.
Hey.
Yeah, that's a good roll.
Oh, wait.
Okay.
I actually didn't do my Medicaid properly. I have 2 ranks. I have 4 intelligence, and I have +1 from Medicaid. So I should have had
Oh,
2 more
well.
dice than I did.
It's fine. We'll get the information from this roll anyway.
Yep.
So you guys are like working through these different bodies, and they all seem to be similar in that they're like falling apart. And you finally get to like the last one of the world leaders that died on the ship, and this one is perfectly preserved.
Well, this is different.
He's not falling apart from the inside. The gene seed is obviously like tainted, right? It's like
by chaos.
it's blackened and covered in like corn symbols, and like it's like the other ones, but it's not disintegrating. But like you definitely would need like special rituals to implant this, right? But all of the like normal space organs are all fine. And you can't really tell like a difference by looking at the body or
Even if
any of the organs, like why this one is preserved and the other ones didn't.
Even if Sator like psychically scanned all of the bodies with his third eye, he won't find anything different.
No, they're the same, like psychically.
Maybe they had something inside of them.
Yeah, with the Medicaid check that you did, as I said, like you can't tell the difference, except for the fact that these are pristine and the other ones are melting.
Yeah.
There's no like extra chaos symbols. There's no like extra organs. There's no like, they looked like they were implanted all properly, right, in all the different bodies and everything. And obviously they, these world leaders took like multiple crew members out before they went down, right? Like they weren't like weaker or anything.
Yeah.
This guy doesn't seem like any stronger than the other.
The best that Sator can assume is that they, for some reason, have something inside of them that made them decay at a rapid rate when they died, but this guy didn't for some reason.
Yeah, you didn't see like any extra anything in the other bodies either.
But right now he's just like glad that he found one guy who had his organs preserved.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're gonna extract everything.
So you can't figure out a reason for it, but you're able to extract the organs. Obviously, again, they're like chaos tainted organs, so they're like covered in symbols and dedicated to dark whispers and dark gods. And you would need like proper rituals in order to implant them in another individual, but you have them.
Yep. And Sator is going to store them in a freezer as normal, but with making sure to put a fuck ton of religious seals over them, having the freezer on higher than normal to make sure that they stay how they are, and all of that.
Normal concerning freezing, but yeah.
Yeah.
So you store them away in like a maybe like a Blackstone like freezer or something.
Yeah.
And then you come back like a day later to like inspect the organs, and they're starting to like melt down. And then over the course of the next couple of days, they melt into mush as well.
If Sator looked through the inside of them while they start melting, would he find like anything interesting?
No, it's just like decaying necrosis flesh.
Alrighty.
So there's a puzzle for you.
Yeah. You will still keep them or they're basically completely worthless. Like he cannot extract anything from them. At least from what Sator knows.
As far as you know, like you were really happy, right? Like you found like the intact organs, but they melted anyway, just like the other ones did. But it just took a little longer for some reason. And they melted like in the freezer too. So
real quick first,
Yep.
At the end of the surgery, Gizmek cuts off this guy's hand and eats it.
It's gross.
Damn it!
The last guy's hand. Yeah, it tastes like normal human flesh.
Hey, better.
I don't know what normal human flesh tastes like, but that's what it tastes like.
It tastes like chicken.
It tastes like chicken.
Everything tastes like chicken.
Well, like maybe that hand was like burned to a crisp by like a flame turret as well, so like it's like extra crispy.
Fried
That's
chicken.
just more texture.
Kentucky Fried Human.
There's just this loud crunch as Gizmek bites into this Chaos Space Marine's hand, and I imagine just like everyone in the immediate area winces.
Yeah, like the surgical assistant behind him, like that has like a bandage over his shoulder from being stabbed by a thrown scalpel, like just throws up into a trash can nearby.
Oi, keep yourself together! He takes another bite.
Yes, sir.
Sator just chuckles at the situation.
They're not used to the crazy surgeon, you know. Is this what being in like a pain boy's office is like?
No, I am a lot more civilized than a pain boy, sadly.
Nice.
Like the most disgusting thing I have done thus far in this surgery is like try and eat parts of the patient.
Listen, we've managed to civilize Gizmek somewhat.
Yes.
Somehow. I actually have a
Anyway.
lot more intelligence than I should as an orc. I have 4 intelligence, so.
Like I said, we managed to civilize Gizmek.
Yeah. Anyways, yeah, if the organs are like completely worthless and nothing can be gotten from them, Saturn will probably like take a quick look through them to make sure that there wasn't anything fancy inside of them. There
wasn't any like artifacts or anything. It was obvious that they were like, you know, branded and such, but there wasn't any like, you know, archaeotech inside of them, basically.
Yeah, maybe Sator didn't preserve the bodies correct because the Korn did some bullshit or Zinch is doing a little bit of trolling. Either way, yeah.
I mean, we can have Sator like puzzle over it if you want. Next time he's got some time.
Yeah,
and
I'll
we can
do a
roll like a
scholarship
test or
run.
something if you don't come up with a solution yourself. But it's definitely a puzzle.
Yeah. Anyway, we should probably move on to the warp core now.
Yeah. So you know, we have an implantation ceremony. You know, there's like banners like set up. There's like a bunch of like AdMech like dudes in like lines as they like, you know, bring the core up through the red carpet. You know, they've got like places of honor set up for like the captain and for the lieutenants and stuff. It's a really long, boring celebration of stuff that you guys don't believe. But Bitbug is like super into it, and he's like, you know, doing these like long readings of binary and stuff. He like wheels like this gravity cart that's like covered in like candles up to the warp core. You know, unplugs the device that is currently up in there, and just carefully removes it and puts it in like a sarcophagus that's like covered in incense, and like he, you know, waves his he's got like a one of those like smoky ball things that he like waves around the sensor.
Yeah.
And you know, the whole warp core area just smells and stinks of this like oily incense that they use. He finally like implants the crystal into the hole, and it fits perfectly, which is crazy. Not only does it fit perfectly, it seems to have like ports in the side to like plug into all of the different like cables. It's like it was like specifically like 3D printed to fit into a warp core. And so he plugs it all in, and I assume like Sator is like up in his like command deck, right?
Yep.
Because you guys are going to try to go to warp with this thing. The warp core turns on, right? It starts to spin, and electricity starts to arc to the Tesla coils. And yeah, nothing bad immediately happens, like to Bitbug's incredible surprise. You can tell he's pretty nervous when he finally does it and walks out and like churns it on. And then he like, there's like a big like there's a big celebration, like a bunch of the AdMech guys like are throwing like streamers, and like everyone's like celebrating that the ritual worked as planned, and the warp drive is operational.
Cool, I didn't do anything wrong. I'll see you guys later.
All right, Holtz like calls up to Sator in the Navigator Spire. And is like, Sator, you thinking you can plot a route to somewhere with actual life in it?
So now can Sator actually see like normally inside the warp?
Yeah, so it's weird. So you can see in the warp right up to the edge of the system, and then it's just black after that.
Well, everything seems to be fine, except that for some reason I can only see to the edge of the system. Well, as of right now, this thing is more than we can bargain for.
We're gonna have to...
I will attempt to prepare a route.
Yeah, so you like plan like a short jump to like test the device, right? You sort of you're blind in the warp, but you can still like see if there's anything between you and whatever the nearest star is. So you like plot a course to the nearest star, basically, which is just a straight line. You just point the ship in that direction.
Yeah.
The ship starts to head to the edge of the system. When the space station in the far distance cracks into the star. Every single viewport on the ship like lights up in pink as the space station hits the star, and the star suddenly changes color and throws a hue on everything. And the star like begins to expand rapidly.
It's basically
Sator?
something to supernova.
Yeah. Sator, get going. We're hitting the button. I'm turning the Geller field on.
Yeah, so the Geller field comes on, the void shields come on. You press the warp button, and like the warp core like spins up, and nothing happens, and then spins up, and then nothing happens, and the supernova is like approaching the ship faster and faster. Eventually, like you're panicking, you're like spamming the button as hard as you can to go, and the moment that the supernova would overtake you, suddenly you're back in the warp. You never actually left the warp. You're just traveling the same way that you were traveling before, and you quickly like come to a stop in another system, the one that you plotted. The ship is like reeling. There's like flames all over the place along the side of the ship, and behind you can see the like remnants of like a nebula, and the cicatrix sort of framing it behind.
Gizmek walks back into the room with the big ass core that we just implanted with a mug of recaf. He's just like, "What are you get up to?"
So So yeah, so you look at the core, and the crystal now, instead of like being inert, is like shining. It's got like an inner light to it.
It's glowy now.
Bitbug, you have any idea what's going on?
He's like going over all of the sensors, and he's like, "Well, we definitely went to warp, sir. So the warp drive worked."
But before we continue, like when we left the crystal system, like the previous system, did that feel like we were going back into the warp, or that we like were always in the warp and that was just like a really like trippy illusion?
According to Bitbug's like time sensors, the whole time inside of the system with the space station never happened.
But the core,
like the chronometers show that you jumped away from the world leader ship, and then you arrived at this system that you're in now.
But the core in the warp core is from that system.
Yes.
So it definitely did happen, but like it shouldn't. Okay.
It's a weird ass warp fuckery.
Got it. Okay.
How does Killer Queen work?
Bitbug is like scratching his head. He doesn't really understand it either.
Don't think about it too hard, Toasted.
Sator taking just another day in the warp.
Yeah, I think Gizmek has the right idea. I don't think it's worth asking too many questions over. Because the answer is warp fuckery.
Gizmek takes a sip of his recap and then immediately spits it out. Keep forgetting I hate this shit.
Yeah, so the system that you're in now is like kind of boring. It just has a bunch of dead planets and moons orbiting like a binary system. When Sator goes to like check the surroundings in the warp, A, he doesn't see the Astronomicon. But B, he can sort of like see in front of the ship for several light years. Like you guys have like headlamps in the warp.
Ooh.
And you're not really sure where that effect is coming from, but you assume it's from the crystal in your warp drive.
Well, it seems like I still cannot find the Astronomicon, which is very alarming. At the same time, I seem to be able to see several light years into the warp. I assume that the crystal has something to do with that.
Maybe this was a blessing from the Emperor. Well, I'm really, really glad there was a but to that statement, Sator. On the other hand, what about the hymnals? Can anyone tell us what's happening? What year is it?
I assume that we cannot find anything because we don't have fucking psychers.
Well, no, this system has been charted. It's in the star charts, and according to the chronometers and like the directions of the stars around the system, it's like the same year that it was.
Okay. Obviously, I guess since we don't have astropaths, we can't like communicate with anybody.
It might be a few months off, but with us being in an illusion apparently the whole time, there's more alarming things than we went through the warp and now we're a few months in the future.
Yeah. But like I'm assuming there's like nothing in here that we can communicate with.
Long distance? No.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I mean, we'll investigate some of the planets to see if there's anything on them. But like, assuming there isn't, we probably just like try and chart a course to like somewhere where we think there might be life, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you pull up the star charts, and there is like a system nearby that's an imperial system. It's like a well-known like trade system that was like at a the juncture of a bunch of warp points.
Mm-hmm.
It's got like a core world there. It's got like a night world there. It's a pretty well populated system called the Gilneas system.
Wonder, do you know anything about the Gilnead system?
Who you ask?
A Wanderer.
Wanderer.
My first mate.
Yeah. Yeah, she like pulls up a hologram of like a solar system. It's got like 5 planets. She says, well, it used to be I'm not sure now. Everything's so crazy, but it's according to the records, it's a trade system. It's got massive core world. It's got an industrial world. It's got a night world. It's pretty populated.
Good. We might be able to figure out what's going on there. Sator, did you hear all that?
Yes.
We're plotting a course for the Gilnead system.
Well, at least I will be able to see a warp storm several years away.
Yeah, you guys were on kind of the far side of the human civilization, right? So there's not a lot of systems nearby that were known as populated.
We even if we check the star map of what is known about the system, it's like unexplored or dead worlds or something like that.
This is definitely the closest one that is populated with any significant population. And it's probably, I don't know, like a couple months away.
Yeah, and getting our news and all of that, we'd probably need to get there.
Yeah, like you guys are running low on like emergency repair parts. The ship also just underwent another like stressful event and like needs further repair. Like all the orcs stuff that was like duct taped and strung up along the ship like fell apart, right?
Yeah. So
whole walls have come down and like it's pretty rough.
Yeah, so unless there's like anything that we can like find repairs on like these planets, I think we're pretty much just like immediately jumping to the Gilnead system from here.
Yeah, that's probably a good plan. So the ship like reaches the edge of this sort of dead system that just has ghostly planets floating around, and you enter into the warp one more time. The warp engine activates no problem. And it is straining to travel without the Astronomicon lighting up everything, but you're managing to move the ship out of the way of any incoming anything as long as you pay attention.
Yeah, it's like as long as Sator has a star map, he will be fine. But if we're trying to go somewhere which doesn't have a star map, it's gonna be pretty rough.
Yeah. It'll actually require like some tests and stuff to travel without a star map.
Yeah, and a lot of probably mathematical, quote-unquote mathematical, because this is the warp stuff.
Okay. So what do you guys want to do while you're traveling?
So did Sator ever give like a report of like the surgeries to Holtz?
He would.
Okay. So with the idea in mind that like the organs are like falling apart and that they were like lurking for something within Holtz's like inventory, could he? Is there something there that he can like connect the dots to? Like, is there something that like might be like useful for like replenishing or like revitalizing organs, in like his inventory that might?
Give me a like an investigation check.
I'm not super great at that, but
yeah.
Okay, so
Nice.
five
Nailed
successes
it.
with the bonus.
Yeah, so you like track down the reports of where these bodies were all found, and there, yeah. So the Chaos Space Marine that had a more preserved body was found in a different storage section than the others.
All right. Well, I mean, I go to that storage section and see what's up.
Yeah, so you go down there, and I mean, you start like pouring through these crates of weapons that you have. Most of them have like been blown up, and it brings a tear to your eye to see all of these like expensive weapons irreparably damaged. Just think of all the gold that fell through your hands, you know.
Yeah.
And you let's see, what time is it? Okay. So she's combing through all these, and you find a false bottom in one of the weapon boxes.
Fine. All right. I see if I can. Like, first of all, I like make sure, like, try to make sure it's like not locked or anything. Like, if it's like easily like poppable.
Yeah, so it pops open, and inside there's two objects. There is a tome, quite large, like it's a 40K tome of knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
It has a symbol on the front that you've never seen before. It's not like one of the chaos symbols or anything. And there is a chain axe that just positively radiates chaos energy. Like, you can feel it. I need you to make a corruption test.
Right. How do I? Oh,
I'm looking that up right now.
I have zero
corruption in this system meant to be like, oh, you only do them if you do something evil or some shit. Even though corruption is meant to be corruption and it didn't always affect you. Because of chaos stuff. Also, I'm pretty sure that for corruption you just have to roll. Let me deactivate night mode so I can actually see.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea.
Conviction, I think, or was it resolve?
Trying to find where is that? It's probably going to be resolve. No, it wouldn't be resolve. Resolve like mental.
Just roll your willpower.
But let me just double check what it is. I'm looking through the rules right now.
Yeah, it's either resolve or conviction.
There we go. Corruption test. To resist corruption, roll a dice pool equal to your conviction trait.
Yep, which is equal to your willpower.
I had to tell you what the difficulty number is before you roll, because you might want to take a glory for it.
I have bonuses to conviction because of being a rogue trader. So
nice.
Cool.
Or like, yeah. So I have 4 conviction instead of like 3.
Yeah. So we're gonna say it's difficulty number 5.
All right. I guess I'm taking a glory then.
Yeah. You'll probably want to reroll this too, depending on how it goes, but we'll see.
Almost certainly. So yeah. And obviously I'm gonna reroll that, but like, let me roll the other d6.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm gonna reroll.
You reroll 3 dice.
Yeah, reroll 3d6. I need all of them to be 4-ups, essentially.
Or you have a 6 in there.
Okay. Hey.
Hey. So like you manage to the chain axe like calls to you, right? Like it tells you tales of blood and murder and the reaping of entire civilizations and the money that could be had and the power that could be had. And you just like barely manage to like push it away and like lock it back into the chest. You still have the tome with you, but the axe is safely locked away, and you're like breathing heavily, and you're like sweating as you manage to push the source of this corruption away from you.
Well, that's don't even that. So what was that doing in a shipment to Cadia? I look at the book and I'm tempted to open it like right away. But after that, I have to think for a minute. I don't think long though, and I kind of open it also right there. Because I'm a greedy son of a bitch.
Yeah, give me a scholar test as you like look at this this other tome.
All right. 3 successes.
Nice.
Yeah, you still have no idea what it is.
I mean, I'll open it. Unless like that was part of like looking through it.
Yeah, I think with that scholar test, the only thing you can tell is that the text is in Eldari.
One of the things I can do is like I can read Eldari.
You can read Eldari.
Yes,
okay.
that was one of the tricks.
So yeah, so you can read Eldari, but this is like an ancient dialect of Eldari.
I also have Eldar Corsair tag if that matters at all.
But by the way,
Corsair tag would not help you in this case.
To know how to speak a language in Rogue Trader, you basically not Rogue Trader in Wrath and Glory. You need like scholaristic lore expert or whatever in about that.
Yeah, you need like a special talent for that. But
I have it for Drukhari specifically, even though it's more meant to be piled up. It's Drukhari specifically because Ira.
But yeah, even if you can read Eldari, like you can make out like some of the words here and there, but like it's like maybe every 4th word you know, and the rest of them are just like you have no fucking idea what it says. It's like in a bunch of runes that are like old and ancient.
I'm definitely going to trade. When I find my Corsair buddy, I will, poke his brain a little bit.
Yeah.
But I'm keeping this with me.
But like as you are looking over the tome, you have like this like feeling that is very important. You don't know what you're getting that feeling from, but like you like covet this item.
I'm just putting it in my gear as Eldar Tome of super importance.
Yeah.
And I don't really feel like parting with it.
Yep. By the way, is Holtz going to tell any of this about any of this to Sator? Or is it a bad idea to tell Sator, hey, there's a demon weapon. There's probably a demon weapon in here. Be careful with it.
I'm probably just going to have that place on lockdown, and I don't really want to tell anyone there's a demon weapon. Not because I don't trust you guys, but like it just seems like a bad idea in general.
Yeah.
I don't blame you, except I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
If the fucking demon weapon somehow starts to corrupt the place and starts calling out to people, we'll see.
You just find one of the cargo bay doors just has a bunch of purity seals on it, and like a bunch of scripture just like taped all over it and says "Do not enter."
Yeah, you're getting like really strong one ring energy out of this thing. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna.
All right. So what's Gizmek been up to for the last like 2 months as you guys travel to this new system?
So Gizmek's big ass Death Dread was lost, and he also knows that Pippi had been screwed up during the fight before we warped out. He's gonna check on Pippi real quick, and then probably get her to cooperate with him and Grismo in beginning the rebuild of a new Death Dread, probably involving stealing somebody else's one of those lifter things. The Sentinels?
Yeah, she doesn't really have like supernatural healing or anything, and she took quite a crack, even with like advanced Medicae technology. So she's probably like still like
Out of action.
like in medical bay bed basically, with like a bandage over her head. She's happy to see you, obviously, right?
Oh yeah.
And you probably tell her all about what happened at the in the pink space station. She's sad that she missed.
Oh yeah. I imagine she would be. Exploration is fun.
And she was very like worried to hear that you were like separated from the group, and like you had to like travel through the depths of the station, and you got attacked by crystal things, and like she was, she wants to protect you, right? So
Yeah, she protects her friends. So yeah.
but yeah, she's gonna be out for at least like the first half of the journey, basically. But your grot is perfectly willing to get to the techno. What's up,
Yeah. Go have him start scavenging
so,
parts and stuff from the hold and whatever else remains and scrap from the fight.
Yeah, so there's a lot of like leftover scrap and stuff, but you were sort of using it to repair the ship. So there's a lot of like components that you probably would need for a Def Dread, that you currently don't have like access to, or you'd have to like build from scratch.
Aye, sounds good. Sounds about right.
So how do you want to do this? Do you want to do like do you want to like do like a series of tech tests every time there's like a downtime, and then like once you hit a certain number of successes?
That would probably be worthwhile.
Okay. So why don't we set it at like, I don't know, 50 successes or something, and then make a tech test for the last couple months.
All right. So we need 50. How many tests should we be doing?
Just do the one, and then we'll do it every time you've got a couple of months of downtime.
All right.
And then you can boost that by like, bartering for components and stuff.
Yeah, I get the double rank bonus for this because of
Yeah, you would.
I'm
Nice.
making it
Orky technology, for sure.
Orc technology.
And then you're getting help from your friend, so get an extra 2 die as well. Oh, complication. Okay. So that would be like a little event then.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 successes though.
Yeah, so you're a fifth of the way there already.
Type it in your character sheet or something.
Yeah, so like you start to like construct the legs of this monstrosity again, and as you're like trying to like line them up, you realize that you need like some sort of like gyro component, and there's absolutely nothing that you could think of on the whole ship that would fit the specifications for this. So you're gonna have to get it from somewhere else.
So gotta wait for having something from the humans.
So you can still collect like successes on the rest of the thing, but because of that complication, like there's a one component that you will need to finish the after.
All right.
So it's the gyro gizmo, and you can only think of like, and then even like humans like wouldn't have like this device. Like only orcs build this device. So you'll have to find like an orcish battlefield or something to salvage.
Well, maybe we'll run across me old crew. Wonder if they're in this area.
Yeah.
And with that, he continues about what he can. Checks in on Pippi every now and then, and also works on his dioramas yet again, because that's what he does.
Yeah, eventually she like rejoins the crew and is helping you like build this thing, carrying like huge slabs of metal around the mech bay.
Oh yeah, she has that kind of strength going for her. And yeah, that's about it for Gizmek during this whole entire flight.
Cool. And then Sator.
Yep. Other than per sure, can Sator do some things while inside of the warp as long as he's also as long as he's still inside of his chamber?
Yeah,
That's
so I mean, I'm assuming the way that it works is like, um, you're plotting up course, away. You're not going just in one jump. I think you're doing like little puddle jumps where you look ahead a ways
Yeah.
with the headlamps, right? And then you plot a course, and then you set it up, and then you can do whatever you want, and then you have to like do that again. So you're having to like jump. You're not able to just
It's like,
go
and also
multiple ones
Sator
in a row.
can see several years ahead of himself, so it's like, yeah, we're 100% safe, basically.
Yeah,
then-
exactly.
As long as he checks as long as he checks the navigator station once per day, they are good.
Yeah, and he's got like the star maps, right? So like where other systems are, right? In this region specifically.
Yeah.
And so yeah, you're basically 100% safe, but you have to check on it like every few days or whatever.
Yeah. Anyways, Sator would basically try to ponder on why the organs of the Space Marines were just decaying at a rapid pace.
Yeah. Give me an investigation roll as well.
Thankfully, I have int, but I'm gonna roll bad. Never mind.
Yeah, it's good. So you come to the same conclusion that that Captain Holtz did. You find the records of where these bodies were found,
Yeah.
and this
And
one body was found in this separate compartment.
Yep. And Sator goes to the department and he sees a fuck ton of purity seals.
Yeah, so there's a whole bunch of the the military police of the ship like parked out front of this door.
And they even dare to question Sator.
I mean, they do. They tell him that Captain Hull said nobody is allowed in there.
Sator would vox Holtz and ask, I assume that I shouldn't enter the one storage area with a bunch of purity seals on it.
I've closed that off. You don't need to worry about it.
Sator is not going to worry about it then.
These aren't the droids you're looking for.
Give me a conviction test, difficulty number 2.
Right. Also, I get like half my rank bonus to conviction test, but I'm going to assume that doesn't really add anything up because.
I mean, if it's round up, then
It is round up, I think, so you get 1.
All right, I'll roll another dice after then.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
this-
So you managed to like curb your curiosity, and follow order.
Yeah. In general, Sator will try to get a bunch of chemi stuff from the med bay and make more drugs again, but it will be like really annoying for him because he doesn't have an entire lab dedicated to that now.
Yeah, so like the medical bay is starting to like run out of chemicals, right? So they're probably like budgeting them pretty severely. So you're probably going to run into like a doctor or a medic or whatever, who's going to try to like push back on you just taking a bunch of his stuff.
Can I try to roll Medicaid or scholarship to see if he's doing like anything wrong with how he's using his chemicals on how he could do it more efficiently?
I mean, you're not really seeing him like like you want to like sit and watch him like work for a while, or are you just trying to like make a quick glance?
Sator would ask him like, "Oh, how do you use this, and how do you use this? What do you use this for? What about this?"
Okay, yeah, give me a Medicaid test, difficulty 4.
That fails.
So 3 with a
but
complication.
I'm just gonna spend a reroll.
Okay.
And do I also reroll the 1?
No, you don't reroll the wrath die if it's a 1.
Alright.
Oh no, you do, but it still counts as a complication.
Alright. Nope. Unlucky. Also remove
Okay.
one of my wrath.
So yeah, he seems to be using them as efficiently as possible. Like if anything, he's like not using them enough and like letting patients suffer a little. And additionally, one of like the core like chemicals that you use for like the base of the majority of the drugs that you make, they're like completely out of it.
Yeah.
That was it's like an important like healing factor base. And so not only like would you be like you would have to like really push on this guy to have him give you anything, but then even then like, one of the important bases you're missing.
So unfortunately, as of right now, Sator isn't getting drugs.
Yeah.
Which is why we're kind of pushing to like get out of the system to like the populated system to resupply.
Yeah. There is still. Does he have like enough for chemical things? He still has some available, I would assume. Because Sator does have like 2 Drukhari poisons, which he hasn't experimented with at all to try to learn how they work.
You could try to like experiment on making new drugs with these chemicals, but they're not the ones that you're used to.
Yeah, Sator is not confident enough to like attempt to break down Drukhari drugs to not Drukhari poisons to learn how they work with this little. So he'll try to experiment to see what he can make.
Like you want to like try to mix them together or something?
Yeah. Basically, see what comes out.
Okay. So then that would be
either Medicaid or scholarship, probably.
Yeah, I'm thinking scholar. But it's also like kind of random because you're sort of just like mixing 2 chemicals together at random. So I'm trying to think how I could do that. There's like a roll if there's like a die.
Sator is mostly like not necessarily at random. He's like doing things which he hasn't done before, seeing if and wants to see the results.
Yeah, so it'll be tough, right? So it'll be a scholar test at like difficulty maybe 5.
Yeah. I have 7 scholarship, so let's see how this goes.
That's a pretty good number.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
5, yeah, you got it. So
nice.
So yeah, so you spend a while, weeks or whatever, mixing these poisons in proper combinations, and most of your experiments are failures, but you finally managed to make some sort of hallucinogen by mixing these things together. It's likely the same hallucinogen that Archons use in their like gas grenade.
Yeah.
And then you've like randomly stumbled upon their formula.
It's like and it's also made out of resources which we have enough of that this guy doesn't.
Well, no, they're made out of these Drukhari poison.
Oh, all right. Sorry, we just got confused about a little bit.
Yeah, so you weren't able to get anything out of the med bay, but you had like some stuff in your lab already, and you had these poisons. Yeah. So you probably are dropping both vials, and then you'll get like a bunch of charges of like a hallucinogenic drug.
Yeah, that's fair. Would it be possible to also have a like Sator has additionally still a really small dose of them, but or now I'll just drop them.
I mean, I assume that you'd want to like it's a bunch of experiments. So I think like a vial is not very much. Like it's a small amount of liquid. So
Yeah.
but you have like a bunch of charges of this hallucinogenic gas. It's pretty strong. So you let's say you have like 10 charges of this hallucinogenic gas.
Yep.
And you could like pack it into a grenade, and you could probably like make the like gas grenades that the Archons use.
Yeah.
Or you can get yourself and your friend high for a charge.
For now, Sator is keeping it for future use. To see if he'll be able to use it in combat in the future. So yeah.
Yeah, because like Gizmek is noticing this too. Several like engineers in his mech bay have started disappearing. The Medicae is working worse than before. There's like a couple of like nurses that have gone missing. Like people are going missing all over the ship right now.
So should I try to go first on what I want to do, or does someone else want to?
I'm good for right now. Like I don't really have
Gizmek
anything
pays
pressing.
0 attention to the missing Yumis and gets back to his work.
Sator will first check to make sure that Ira isn't torturing random people first.
Oh, she is.
He,
Like you just keep finding bodies in closets.
is it seemingly that she is after these people? Like she's the one who murdered them?
It's pretty obvious. Like their bodies are like covered in like dagger wounds, like from her dagger.
And we basically have already run out of prisoners because no one wants to commit a crime when.
Yeah.
Pretty well. Not only she's going over the prisoners and other people.
All right.
She's a bit of a pain drug addict,
Yeah.
So the question is, do you want to like use one of your charges to like sate her for the rest of the journey or not?
Yeah. As of right now, Sator will give her one of the charges to.
Okay, so there's less missing people over the course of the last month.
Yeah.
She hasn't had this hallucinogenic gas in quite a long time, but it used to be quite the party trick back in Kamara.
At the same time, Sator might want to see if there's any, usual chaos cult in the underdeck so that he can get more prisoners.
Give me an investigation roll.
Yep.
Difficulty 4.
Oh, not that. That's DM'd only. I got only a 6, but with an advantage.
You'll get a glory point, yeah. But but like everything seems above board. Everyone's running smoothly. A lot of the fat on the ship got culled. Only the people that were like actually like effective individuals.
I imagine
remain.
Imagine like when we purged the World Eaters off the ship, a lot of the supporters of the World Eaters that were on the ship already.
A lot of Chaos supporters have also like attacked because
Yeah, a lot of the Chaos cultists that were already on the ship like tried to rebel as well, right? Like that always happens when there's like an assault on a ship.
Yeah, and even if there is no Chaos cults, there could be some remains. I could use my last rat point for a reroll.
If you'd like, yeah.
I'll go for it. That's only one more success.
Yeah, it's not enough. So yeah, like you hear you with 3 you like hear whisperings of things in the dark depths of the ship, but you can't find any evidence.
Yeah. And it's close to the end of the. Maybe if Sator had more time, he could find something, but it's almost the end of the voyage, so you know.
But we could make something happen, right? Like the voyage is long, so
Yeah.
Too late.
all right, cool. Well, it's 1:00, and I don't have the Gilnead system like prepped yet,
Oh yeah.
so
No, we're fine. I think
Um,
this is a good ending point.
it's probably a good ending spot.
All right. Thank you,
Yep.
ladies and gentlemen,
Oh, yeah.
for coming to watch Warhammer 40k Wrath and Glory Blackstone Tales and dealing with me. For those of you watching on YouTube, adjusting the entire overlay over the course of the stream to change it up a good amount. I thank you very much for dropping by yet again, and I would like to thank Marius, Reaper, and Six for joining me and playing their respective characters and roles. Thank you very much.
No problem, it was fun.
Yet again.
Yeah.
Glad. I had
Yeah.
fun too.
Good sesh.
Yeah.
I'm glad you guys are happy with the direction the game's going, so it's good.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Now we get exploring. But with that, peace everyone.
Peace.
Bye.